Welcome back to Talk of the Town. We're joined by our friend Carl Hess from the fabulous Peaceful Henry. Now, we talked about this with Bert. Peaceful Henry apostrophe S or Peaceful Henry's?
It is Peaceful Henry.
Peaceful Henry in Bluffton, the tobacco haven and dream place here in downtown Bluffton. And tell us a little bit about your history in this industry, because this industry is so cool, such a cool niche industry.
I've been extremely fortunate. For the better part of 25 years, I've been in and around the cigar industry, tobacco industry, premium tobacco industry, whatever one might like to call it. I've been mentored by a great gentleman. His name was Alphonse Mayer. Alphonse was the head tobacco purchaser for General Cigar. During World War II, he left Europe, went to Cuba to be safe. He learned tobacco from the ground up, and I was extremely fortunate. He wound up being a neighbor of mine in the Northeast.
Wow.
Yeah, how fun. And
Kismet.
every few weeks, he would invite me over for lunch. Lunch with Alphonse was a cold can of soup and
a great cigar.
And a pre-embargo Cuban cigar, which he had thousands of.
And so you learned, and so you were drawn to it. Was that, not everybody's drawn to cigars.
It is fantastic. It goes back to...
It's fascinating.
Yes, it's history. It's really a history lesson.
Yeah.
Whether it's Peaceful Henry or talking with Alphonse, it comes down to a cigar.
Yeah.
Or that's my experience.
Sure.
A young kid in this industry, it all became about a cigar.
Yeah.
So I just sat and I took it all in. And he just gave so much information over the course of time, from the tobacco, how it's grown, how it's fermented, different blends, and the nice
being
thing,
a buyer of it. I mean,
yes.
and I never would have occurred to me that you have a buyer. I mean, it just seems like it seems like the tobacco happens and then a cigar is made, and that's so ignorant of me to say, but there's just so much to it. That
it's a lot like wine. Think of cigars like wine.
Yeah, it's like you're a master sommelier for tobacco.
Exactly. So no different than wine. This is how tobacco grows. Sunshine, rainfall. You can't always predict. So certain years we're going to have better crops than others. That's where we have a lot of limited production cigars. When all the moons are in alignment, the tobacco gets happy.
That's amazing. And so when you think about a brand of tobacco, you kind of think about the consistency of it, right? The continuity, but the crop changes.
All the time.
So
and
the flavors change a little bit.
Flavors change all the time, so that's where your master blender has to constantly be working. For us, one of the nice things is we are the only appointed merchant for Davidoff of Geneva.
Yes.
In my opinion, Davidoff does it the best. There's about 220 of us in the United States, but consistently, time in and time out, they make, in my opinion, the best cigars in the world. And for the folks that don't know a lot about Davidoff of Geneva, started out as a Cuban company in the 70s.
Very cool. What came to mind is that the collection of them as well, because this season might not be great. And this season might have been changed, and I really missed last season, so having a collector to rely on.
Yes, they have different limited production cigars. For us, the new ones, or a newer collection of limited cigars, come Year of the Zodiac. Every year they celebrate. This year is Year of the Rat for Davidoff. It is a wonderful collection of cigars, as well as a relaunch of certain proprietary blends that I had in storage for many, many years.
Yeah, how long can a cigar be stored?
As long as it is kept correctly.
Wow.
So it is temperature and humidity.
What's the oldest cigar you've ever smoked?
Oh, it was probably from Alphonse, a pre-embargo Cuban cigar.
Wow.
But cigars can last, depending on how they're kept. As I said, temperature, humidity, and not every cigar is meant to age. Some are, some aren't. It just depends on a lot of different factors of the tobacco itself, the prime, or the outside wrapper.
Oh, it is so cool to talk to someone so knowledgeable about it. How has the industry changed over the years?
For me, I always say I am a old young guy in this industry. Most of the people that I've had these fantastic relationships with,
masters,
unfortunately, they're not with us anymore.
Yeah.
So my heart always remembers them.
And knowing that you're standing on the shoulders of giants.
Yes, and I've been very fortunate, very grateful to have these people, but the industry has changed. It's much broader, it's much greater. Many more companies are coming out on a yearly basis. Cigar production is through the roof. Nicaragua, which was always a much smaller venue, it was Dominican Republic or Cuba. Nicaragua has increased dramatically in size. Everything in Peaceful Henry's celebrates a cigar. From our retail store, our bar, and our new kitchen.
Yeah.
We just put in a new kitchen which has fabulous food that complements your cigar experience.
Yeah, absolutely. It's all in one. So anybody who has not been to Peaceful Henry, anybody who's not been for a while, needs to come on back to that. Peaceful Henry. Carl Hess, so good to have you here.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for watching Talk of the Town. I'm your host, Carrie Dillon, and we will see you next time.